37.5 kilohertz is the right frequency, so that's a positive. The fact it's intermittent, you'd expect that because you're not going to get a nice clean signal coming out of the ocean. It's going to have lots of interference. If they're not right on top of it, it's going to get sort of that weak sort of almost like a crackly radio signal. So it's not going to be a simple, clear pulse that they're going to have to home in on. If, and it's a huge if, it's confirmed as being a potential location, then it does mean that the search area suddenly goes from a search area of 85,000 square miles down to a search area of about 10 square miles. And that goes from virtually the impossible to the plausible, if it proves to be positive. But I certainly want to wait until the Australians have had a look at this, they've looked at the data, perhaps there's some confirmation of the signal from a third party before everything's put into this one area. Let's wait and see what comes out.
But is it hard to think of anything else that could be emitting a pulse like this?
Well, it's a fairly standard signal wavelength for a lot of pieces of equipment. So it's used to locate all kinds of things. It's not unique to necessarily a black box pinger. These pingers are used in other things as well as underwater locators. However, as someone else has said, the chances of, first of all, another plane being down there is slim. And they should have a fairly good feel for any oceanographic equipment that's in that region, which will be pinging. If it does prove to be the pinger, they are close to recovering the black box and some of the wreckage from the seabed. But the satellite pictures, we wouldn't expect to see debris on the surface in this area still. It'll be long gone.
Given that this is a remote part of a very deep ocean, how difficult is it going to be to find out exactly where that pulse has come from? If this is the pulse, you're going from tens of thousands of miles to tens of miles. An intense search with side-scan sonar and even ROVs, remotely operated vehicles with cameras on, this becomes a viable search region. It can still take a while, but it becomes viable.